that ever be.
All right.
You see, and so we need to be working and understanding that this spirit comes from. The spirit comes from the ancestors. That's why it's not this sort of romantic stuff that black folk, or exotic stuff, where we got to have an ancestral shrine in our homes now, and we got to have little, glasses of water and candles burning and shit beneath the bed and stuff. I mean, all those stuff that we do as African folk. We need to realize that this is not no silly stuff. This has to do with connecting up your telephone. So if you pay your telephone bill, somebody can call you. You see, and that the things we do in terms of ancestral recognition is paying your telephone bill. And once you pay your telephone bill, then you can get a phone call. You see, but if your phone is disconnected, you get no information. You see? So we got to reconnect to the ancestors. Now please don't think. I'm saying all we got to do is put some candles underneath the bed. In fact, it's the water going underneath the bed, not the candle. Don't get confused. You get burnt up in your bed. But there are things that you do in order to open up your ear. There are things that you do in order to open up your eye. There are things you do in order to open up your heart. When you open up these things, information comes to you. Because I truly do believe that the difference between now and 50 years ago, the difference between now and 100 years ago, the difference between now and 300 years ago is that as captives, we were beat down. But we survived the beating. And so we are now strong enough, and we are hearing the whispers. Remember in Sankofa, spirit of the dead, rise up and claim your vessel. We the vessels. We the vessels. You see, so we got to hear the whisper of the ancestors. We got to hear this not as some sort of spooky stuff, but as science. Science that says spirit is. Think about that. That's Ebonics that Oakland's famous for. Spirit is. If it is, it most assuredly is spirit. It doesn't exist without being spirit. Spirit is the life force, the energy that comes from God. That's what Africa teaches. That's our solid ground. Spirit is the totality of being, the totality of becoming, the totality of belonging to God. Now don't go away and talk about, all we can do is leave it in the hands of God. Let's pray and God will take care. Our God doesn't do it like that. Our God says, I'm going to take a speck of me and put it in thee, and you on your own. Because you God. See, you God. You ain't got to go pray about it. You can meditate to get some greater insight, but the fact of the matter, you got to do something. You see, because you are God. I take a speck of me and put it in thee, and you become. We are the being, the belonging, and the becoming of God. That's when I collapse all the reading, all the study, all the different analysis of different African traditions. What I come away with as a summary is this idea. That we are the being, belonging, and becoming of God. Spirit is the divine spark. That's that speck that makes us human beings. Spirit is the essence of which becoming is an ongoing expression. That's what's quick. Becoming is an ongoing expression. I'm never, like the old folks say, don't worry about that boy. He ain't been cooked enough. He ain't ready. He ain't done. Now what's that old timey? What's that old timey shit that black people be talking about? He ain't done. We want to dismiss it, but there was deep philosophical thought underlying those sayings. They're saying that your becoming is a never-ending song. That I consider myself one of the baddest black psychologists in the world. But I'm becoming. You see, I'm becoming. You think I'm bad now? Wait till tomorrow. You think I'm bad tomorrow? Wait till next year. You see, because I am becoming. Each of us is a process of becoming. And we need to recognize that becoming as part of the ongoing expression of power. Of power. The Africa teaches that the spirit is the thing that enlivens the body. See, we are not just body. In the analysis of of colonialism, Fanon makes the point that you have to objectify African people. But the only way you can objectify a people is to kill them, because then the body, the carcass, becomes an object. But as long as they have life in them, you can't objectify them. So what you do is create the great pretense, and we become the pretenders.
All right.
You create the great pretense where you pretend you are superior to them. And once they buy into the idea that you are superior to them, you have objectified them without objectification. You see, now see, this is deep stuff here. We got to think about it, that we are pretending all the time. We are pretending when we call for mass rallies. You know, we're pretending that they are superior to us.
There you go.
We're pretending. It's the great pretense. And so this idea of our objectification is even more subtle when they make us invisible.
All right.
See, that's another pretense. So when we have legitimate protests in the courts of jurisprudence, there's no coverage.
All right.
By making me invisible, then my voice is not heard in the court of world opinion.
Right.
See, so I don't know what's going on about black folks in New York if I'm living in California, but this is one nation under God.
All right.
You see, because the affairs of black people are not the affairs of human beings. That's back to our ma'afin, that's back to our dehumanization, that's back to our de-dogging the dog.
Right.
You see, but our voice, our authentic voice says that the Bantu come. I get so tired of all these deep wells of African thought, and I get so insulted when black folk think we ain't got nothing.
All right.
We got to try to be like them. It's so vulgar for us to try to be like them when I can now go dig into the well of the Bantu, and the Bantu say that the birth of a child coming through his mother's sacred womb is like the rising of a living sun into the upper world. What are these Africans talking about?
Right.
The rising of a living sun into the upper world. That the sun, the icon of the most powerful source of energy that humans can comprehend.
All right.
Think about it. There's no other image of power that is more powerful than the sun. And the sun is all life-giving.
All right.
And so there's no life that can exist without sun.
All right.
And so the Bantu say, if I'm going to talk about what this is, I'm going to say this being is the rising of an almighty, all-powerful, life-giving energy. That's what it is when your baby was born.
All right.
That's what you saw when you went to the hospital and saw your little baby through the glass. You saw a living sun.
All right.
A living sun. Living sun being intelligent energy. So I'm trying to break this down. The living sun is not, I want you to just draw little pictures of a sun and put in your rooms. That's no, living sun is intelligent energy.
All right.
Intelligent meaning having will and intent.
All right.
And intending for your will to be done. Your spirit knows things that you don't know.
Right.
We have good examples of this. You walk into a room and folk been talking about you and you can feel it. You know, shit ain't right here. Something ain't right here. I don't know what's going on, but something ain't right here. You know, you have examples of that when you as a little girl come into the house and your mama says, "Girl, you pregnant," and you ain't even know it yet. You see, because the spirit knows. Spirits have conversations. Your spirit, I'm a container of a spirit. My spirit will have a conversation with your spirit, and I'm not invited to the conversation. You see, I don't hear the conversation, and we wonder, why is it I have this attraction to a certain person, or why is I have this repulsion to a certain person? You see, because there's spirits going on, the spirit conversation, that there's a knowing and knowable spirit, and the Bantus say that education is for you to know what your spirit knows, not to be able to spell. That's secondary. Not to be able to add up. That's secondary. You first must know your character. And in knowing your character, all this other stuff comes easy. If I just take that and think about rethinking school now, that if we gave emphasis to our children understanding what it means to be African, algebra is cakewalk. You see, a lot of kids are struggling with algebra, struggling with calculus, and not realizing that they can become calculus. And if I become calculus, then doing calculus ain't no problem. You see? But we don't see, that's the pedagogy I was talking about in terms of my reflecting pedagogy, our grounding, reflecting certain things. We need to see that and rethink these issues. The Bantu say that a person is a phenomena of